Tuesday, which means it is Textile Tuesday. We have Make It Monday, Textile Tuesday, Workshop Wednesday.
We do.
Anything that was faintly alliteration-y got shoved in there. Took a lot of time and effort.
We love an alliteration.
Oh, I do. Nothing makes me happier, Jane. Maybe a little hyperbole. But apart from that, how are you all? Are you well? Are you having a fabulous day? So, lovely Jane is here. Jane Alcock. Jane. Today's beautiful make.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It's a stunner.
It's a bit of fabulous Sanderson fabric. Because we love a bit of Sanderson. Classic
And
print.
there is enough in there to go with neutrals.
Yes.
In fact, Wiz just took a photo of it over the back of our sofa in the kitchen. Gorgeous.
Yes.
And it's not a sofa that I like, it's Josh's sofa. I'm not a big fan of leather sofas because I find them too cold.
Yes.
But this draped over the back of it,
Yeah, I can
looks
imagine it's gorgeous.
stunning.
Yeah.
Absolutely stunning. I'm like, right, as soon as we've done the show, that's going. It's going
Over
back in
there.
there. But it's very practical having a leather one in there because dog paws and stuff, that's
Yeah.
fine, I can wipe it. So I get it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just not my cosy thing. So, beautiful. We've got 2 versions for you to peruse today. One is the Sanderson, if you want absolute classic heirloom, homes and gardens.
Yes, country kitchen, all of that.
All of that. This is the one. If you want something vibrant, funky, off the wall, bit out there.
Yeah, it makes you smile.
We've got Sassaman.
Yes. And it is.
Oh, she's fabulous. Jane Sassaman is an
Just
incredible
gorgeous.
designer. You can tell that her and Kay are friends.
Yeah.
Their use of colour is parallel. It's really, really lovely.
I always think, because she's got this little bit of quirkiness to her, I think that she's like, she could be Kay from Tula's love child.
That'd be a
She's
beautiful
just,
thing.
it's just wonderful, her colour and her boldness and that little bit of
Little hint.
her fun in there.
You seen the spider in one of them? Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, if you're an arachnophobe, you might not like this one.
Have we got it in this?
Yes.
Have we?
Yes. You can swap it. You can swap it for another one in the collection.
Then we have. Right,
We love Lisa.
we do love Lisa. Lisa, if you're watching, she often does,
Yes.
from that there Australia.
Yeah, before she goes
If
to
you're
bed.
watching, could you please hurry up and finish those designs so that we can have some new fabric, please? Because we are running really low. We bought you Lisa, 4 years ago.
Oh, easily. It was one of our first collections, was designer
It
collections.
was a
yeah.
chance conversation. John Cole Morgan said to me, I've got a friend you need to meet, you'll love her. That generally means I hate them. No, I'm joking. I don't. You know when someone goes, oh, you've got so much in common, you absolutely love each other, and that forced meet, and you go, we have nothing, like, we don't see the world the same way. This did not happen with Lisa.
No, she's lovely.
We had a Zoom call, the 3 of us, and John just sat back and was like, I'm just going to let this one play out. And Lisa and I have been firm friends ever since. She stayed with us for Festival of the Quilt. She's such a talented, incredible woman who insists on top-notch quality. Can't argue with that, can you?
No.
You can't argue with that.
No.
So we have sold her fabrics, and we've been the main place in the UK to sell her fabrics over the last nearly 5 years, actually. But we're getting to the end of our stock.
Yes.
It's not enough for a show.
No, and we did have a lot.
We had, oh my gosh, do you remember we had
Bolts and bolts and bolts of it, yeah.
we used to buy it by the 20 bolts per style. We
Yes.
used to buy it in,
Mhm.
which, bearing in mind, most designers would buy a bolt or half a bolt.
Yes.
That's how incredible the amount that we had was.
Yeah, we've made beautiful quilts.
And
nice little quick projects, everything, haven't we?
we had 2 whole bays dedicated to Lisa's fabric in the warehouse. And you've bought it. Now, you've loved it as much as we have. But we are now down to the last ones until Lisa decides to print her new design.
We can't wait.
Oof! Yes! And then we might get, if she's got anything left over, might get a bit more shipped over with that. But until that day, this is the last of our Lisa. We've got kits, we've got fabrics that are cut to order. Izzy's gone and she's done a thorough recce of what we've got left, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been in every nook and cranny and got every little piece of Lisa.
Oh, she's been
possible.
thorough.
Yeah.
She has been thorough. There is no 2 ways about it. She has been thorough. So we have, Lisa should be £9 something a half metre.
Yeah, because it's...
She should actually be more than that. She should be on a
Yeah.
par with Kaufman,
Easily.
who she used to design for, incidentally. If you want, what's the word I want? Pedigree.
Yes.
That's who she used to design for. And then she went out on her own. Brave move, but when you design like she does.
Yeah.
Because the thing I love about Lisa is that she knows how we quilt. She designs the most incredible quilts. So she designs her fabrics for quilters because she knows what she wants. She knows what she's going to design.
Yeah.
So the repeats are 12.5 inches, and they're usable so that you get that 12 inch.
Nice big
And
pieces.
so she knows what she's doing. So if this is your first time dipping your toe in the water with Lisa Chandler, and by the way, Lisa loves it when we do these shows, and her husband says, "Can you please not?" Because her ego after you tell everyone how much you love her, like, just stop it.
Well,
And I'm
she's
like,
worth
no,
it 'cause
she's
brilliant.
worth she's worth everybody knowing and telling how fabulous she is.
Absolutely.
So that is what we're doing. We are spreading the Lisa love. But like I say, when fabric becomes less than a show's worth, we discount it. It goes.
Yeah.
Which gives you the chance to get the most stunning fabrics. Lisa's opening gambit, by the way. This was how we met. My fabrics are better quality than Liberty. I'm like, that is a bold statement,
It
lady.
is, yeah.
Bear in mind, at this point, I'd not had hands on it.
No.
I'd not touched it. I'd not had anything to do with it. So do you remember I bought that massive load in from the States? It was just, it must have been 2020 because we'd just gone into lockdown.
Yes.
And so the Houston Quilt Festival had been cancelled, and
That's
she'd
right.
shipped a whole load of fabric out to Houston that then didn't happen. She's like, there's absolutely no point in that sitting out there or me trying to ship it back to Australia or ship it direct to you. So we got all, and it was a gamble.
Big one. Yeah, it was.
Could you imagine if they'd hated it? If you'd hated it, like, that would have been the end of Natasha Makes.
It would, yeah.
Natasha would have liked to have made stuff, but you didn't like it. Happily, that didn't happen. And then every rep that then came in after lockdown was like, whose fabric is this?
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to show you because proof is in the pudding and all that kind of jazz.
I'm just going to nip out the studio while you do that because I've noticed there's a fabric missing from
Go on
one of
then,
the
Jane.
kits.
Melba fans. We're a fan of the fans. This is a bolt end. The Melba fan dark and red. This is a beautiful standalone. Pair it with terracotta that we've got. Pair it with just a black as well. It really pops with black. Absolutely stunning. That is my bolt end. I've got 1.75 metres there, and it is yours at a discount. The fabric has got over 25% off today, by the way. This is the last one. I nearly kept hold of these because I don't have any of these myself, but I do have makes made out of them. This is the Melba border stripe. If you haven't seen these, like, where have you been? Seriously.
I love that one.
Oh, this was...
It's real versatile,
yeah,
isn't it?
the black and pink. So a border stripe, so you get this reflected the other way. And again, that's 12.5 inch repeat.
Yeah.
Lisa just knows what she's doing. And it comes... Oh, this is a long one. This is 1.1 metre. So normally these would go in 60 centimetre increments. Because then you would get a Waratah in the middle. This is a Waratah, by the way. And you'd get Waratah to Waratah with a Waratah in the middle.
Yeah.
This one,
We used to cut it through
the middle of the
other-
Waratah, yeah.
Every other one.
So
and what's happened
that's
is-
a 60 centimetre one. This will
Yeah.
be an end of a bolt.
It must be, yeah.
Yeah, because look at that cutting. We wouldn't cut like that, Jane. No. Good grief, woman.
No, we wouldn't.
Not and keep our jobs. Crikey bobs now. Anyway, if you want 1.1 metres of that with a wonky cut on the end, go for it. We don't cut to the we don't measure to the wonky cut, by the way. We won't
Won't.
measure shortest bit to shortest bit.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
I love this one.
This is pretty.
I will never forget when someone sent their fabric back going, there's a mark on it. No, that is shaded. This comes out of a mill in Japan, and they're one of the only mills in Japan that does this kind of like airbrushing in between screen prints,
Yeah.
which gives this absolutely incredible depth to it. She's like, no, it's a dirty mark. We're like, it's not, that is how...
Yeah. It's greasy. I was like, it's not greasy.
No,
not.
that has been... and when you look at it, it highlights or shadows, whatever you want, every single bit of it, just to help it pop.
Yeah. And the metallic
Is
finishing
just stunning.
Is just stunning.
These are all screen printed, traditionally screen printed. The very last screen that goes on is the metallic, which is why the metallic pops in all of these so beautifully. It's not
sparkles.
dulled by any more.
Yeah.
We have had things here that we have made and worn and washed and worn and everything else. I've got a quilt over the back of my sofa. Again, that has to be worn and washed because, you know, children, animals, everything else.
Yeah.
Well, it's Malcolm's colours, isn't it? So
Yes,
Malcolm, my
Malcolm
cat,
looks fabulous on it.
always wants to sit on it. He
Yeah.
gravitates to anything he looks fabulous next to.
Yeah. You've got a lovely teal throw, haven't you? And he just lounges across that and looks stunning.
He looks beautiful on that too. 1.2 metres.
Yeah.
It's
Nice
like
piece.
35% off these bolt ends, Jane.
Oh, wow.
25%, over 25% off cut to order. So it's coming in at £6.99.5 metre rather than £9 something.
That's too good an opportunity to miss.
When it's gone, it's gone. This is your tile in cream and orange. I've got two of these at 2.9 metres, maybe 3 metres. That would back
Would back a quilt if you were.
back in a quilt with it. Again, your 12.5-inch focal point here with your
Great fun
Waratahs.
fussy cutting with that.
Oh,
You
I
do
have,
EPP, you just. Oh.
I have
It's a dream.
loved these. Now, you see, I would back a quilt in this.
Yes.
This is your Gum Leaves Mint, 3.8 metres. And again, you've got this incredible gold metallic on there, but I just find it really peaceful. There is something about the greenery outside that actually releases serotonin in the brain. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So bring a bit of the outside in works a treat.
Wonderful.
Small floral cream and gold, 3.5 metres. If this doesn't go today, I'm cutting that into small bits and using that elsewhere or keeping that for myself because that has been one of the best blenders
It's a
that we
fabulous
have
blender.
ever
A really useful one.
ever had. just adore it. Use it by itself as the hero. Use it with things like this. So if it were me, Jane, and I was watching today's show and I wanted to get the most Lisa that I possibly could, I would be going, right, give me the tile, give me that, and give me the floral.
Yeah.
3.7 metres for this.
Amazing.
Now, I don't know if this has been done as a bolt end or if... Because that should have been done cut to order.
Yeah. I think it's been done as a bolt end because it's enough to back a quilt with, should you
Right.
wish to back a quilt with it.
Okay.
You could make cushions, bag linings, all sorts of fabulous things.
These are now no longer half bolts. These are now cut to order.
Right.
So, I'll show you this in here actually because we had some long quarters and I've only got 2 of these left. So, you know how I said the cream gold floral, fabulous. But Lisa also did a version in ivory and silver. Well, I think cream, isn't it? Cream
Yeah.
and silver. And then you've got a gold one there, and then you've got a grey one there. And you've got long quarters of each. Again, they are absolutely just the most sublime blender, lining. And I've got 2 of them. That's it. Now, I know that some of you have seen that we've had a lucky dip. Do you remember that lucky dip we did? It was worth over 50 quid.
Yes.
Where you've got like 6 fat quarters and 2.5 metres. Still got a couple of those. The twisted knitting bag. Oh my gosh, where's my sample of that? This, we've done a demo on this.
Yes. there
It's
is a
out there in
demo out
YouTube
there.
world somewhere. But again, I managed to make this off the instructions, so you can too. Absolutely stunning with pin tucks and everything else. I'd never done a pin tuck until I did that.
It's good fun.
It's really good fun,
Yeah,
isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. Right, so the velvet lined any size velvet tablet case. You've got Lisa and you've got some cotton velvet.
Nice. There's a red version and a black
And there's a black version. Yeah.
That's something that we discovered, wasn't it? It looks fabulous with velvet.
Amazing.
Then you've got your corks in. It
Mm.
looks absolutely stunning with your corks. I bet it looks gorgeous with the waxes too.
We haven't even tried them with
We haven't
waxes.
got round to the waxes, but we haven't got enough, have we, to do shows with waxes?
Do you know what, Jane? This one with that wax we had yesterday,
Yes.
that green wax we had yesterday, which isn't anywhere near,
It's not
would be
yellow.
phenomenal. So yeah, maybe we could have done. Quick, take it all down immediately. We have got here a 75 centimetre Hampton stripe and a 35 centimetre piece of flannel flower. This was a stocking kit. The flannel flower we haven't had for years.
No,
This is the only way. I love it with the stripe and the floral. That's a cushion.
it's beautiful.
Really stunning. You don't have to make a stocking out of it. It's just stunning together. Border stripe, there's a 60 centimetre piece. So you've got a 1.1 metre piece or a 60 centimetre piece, one of those. Border stripe in orange. Again, these are the ones with the big... This, do you know what this was? This was a big box that I found of samples from that had come back from Create and Craft and just been
Yes.
squirreled away.
Yeah.
So I've got one of each. This was the ivory and pink, and then there's the grey. And these are the last ones. So again, if you get
Yeah.
that,
Goes with all
then you've got
your
stuff to line it
silvers,
with,
yeah.
all of that. Right, what's in here, Jane? Is this the lucky dip?
Could be.
So your lucky
Is this
dip,
on
yeah.
a Mystery Lisa, yeah.
Mystery. These are your mystery Lisa bundles. I know that on all of them, we did a small floral. Every single one has got a small floral. Now, what else you've got in there is the mystery.
Yeah, it could be anything.
Yeah,
Well, it's Lisa.
yeah,
It's a Lisa.
but it could be any of the Lisas. And again, we've got a handful of those cut, and when they're gone, they are gone. Crikey bobs. We've got one sarong. It's not wrong, it's a sarong. Now this, oh Jane, have you got one of these?
I don't think I did. I missed out because I wanted a teal one and they just flew.
Oh yeah, no, they did not hang around. So
Because we did the jacket, didn't we, with that as well?
we also we made it into a. So you can make them into, what's the word I want? Sarong? No, it's not sarong.
No.
Kimono.
Kimono, that's it.
You can obviously do. I wish I was one of these clever people that could like tie things. Gemma will be absolutely wetting herself laughing at me going, "What are you doing?" But you know, you come out of the pool
Yeah, tie
and
it.
you do something clever with it. But also equally,
Makes a beautiful scarf.
it's really really lovely. I've got one of these
Beautiful.
left. That is it, and it's got that massive waratah.
It's beautiful. And again, it's got the sort of slightly... No, they're not metallic, are they?
It looks like it is though, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not. I always make that mistake. I go, is it? No, it's not. So if you'd like that last one, it's been gently draped over me. That's it. I think that's probably Gemma pinging me, telling me something that I need to know. Sarong to kimono. Yeah, no, we've got that. We're all good. She's on delay, of course.
Yes.
Right, what else have we got in here, Jane?
There's lots of exciting bits and pieces. They're all like
Yeah.
last ones, or there might be two.
Bag design basics.
Yes.
We sold nearly 100 of these in an hour.
Yeah.
It was insane. It was absolutely insane. And we're selling it with a half metre of
Yeah.
Lisa's, one of Lisa's designer
Florals.
florals. Just incredible. Just incredible. I've got a handful left. 2 60 centimetre pieces and 3 instructions here. This is for the Melba tote. Do you want to see what it will make, Jen?
That's the beautiful Melba tote.
That's the Melba tote. That's what you're making with this kit. Exactly that, with the Hampton stripe on the inside. So if you would like that to make that bag, go for it, Jane.
Lovely.
I love those bags. Love them. Right, so small floral trio again, long
Yes.
quarters. This time the ivory and silver, the grey, and the ivory and pink.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's your other option on that. I don't know why we've got some fat quarters here, but we have, and they're rather lovely.
It might be duos of...
Fat quarter duos. There you
Yeah.
go. So a black and a red one, or the pink and the floral. Again, she really has gone into every nook and cranny, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And then
half-metre duos.
half metre duos. I mean, they just look fabulous together. But with black or whatever, just plain black,
Yeah.
look great. The charm purse.
Now there's 2 kits of this, but one is they're slightly different because this one is the one that Lisa's created, so it's got literally everything in it cut to size. That one's
No, I did that.
Did you?
It took me ages and then went, no, not doing that again.
again.
Way too time intensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did a handful of those with the blossoms.
Yeah.
And then that's fabric sold out. So that's one. I don't know why I had one left. And then this, you've got your fat quarters and your hardware.
Yeah.
But you've got to actually cut it yourself.
Yes.
And all the cutting instructions come with there.
Very straightforward to cut, really.
If you're lazy, go for that one. If you don't mind a bit of cutting, go for that one.
Well, you're going to have loads left over, aren't you, with the fat quarter?
That's the thing, isn't it? Now, this is the Christmas pin cushion. Again, these are on a really, 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 really big discount. Now, Jane, this is the framed Otkin Runner kit. Did we sell that sample?
Yes, I think we did.
Did
yes.
we?
Yeah.
Because we didn't think we had any left.
Yeah.
Amazing. You might just want it for the fabrics, or you might want to actually make it. This was, let me just show you, this was when we had, do you remember we had bolt after bolt after bolt of that massive Waratah when Lisa came over?
Yeah.
We'd never had these massive Waratah bouquets. And then Jane did a beautiful, beautiful runner where you fussy cut those huge Waratahs to be the central place, on point, so they look really, really beautiful. And that's just part of the kit. You then get all the other fabrics that go with it. And it's really rather lovely. And again, you might want to pick up some of the other fabrics to back with. I folded that really badly. Sorry. There's only one. So you'll get my badly folded bit.
Cottage cloth in it, hasn't it?
It's got cottage cloth, it's got Lewis and Irene, it's got
Berries,
all sorts in there. It's a really top end kit. They all are. I've got to add a metre of ivory in this, and then you've got your Melba pin tuck bag.
Yeah, we're just
Pin
waiting
tuck's
for
going
our
that way.
planes delivery to come.
Yep.
Expecting it any day.
And that is in, again, that orange. We've got another Christmas pin cushion, this time in the red. We have got the Russian pin cushion kits. Now that's Lisa's design, but we've done it in, we've got a trio of colours for you to choose from. So they're not Lisa's colours. And again, we've got a charm purse. It's a Lisa's design, but different fabrics. That was a Macawa, wasn't it?
Yes.
Deco, something or another.
Yeah.
We haven't discounted these because
They're fabulous.
they are, and they're on at a really good
Yeah.
price anyway. For what we pay for them, there's no margin to discount. These are the microfiber lens cloth. If you have not had one of these before, I gift these on the regular because they are so good.
Yeah, they're lovely. I've got
Oh.
one in my bag and it's
Beautiful.
really cleans my glasses nicely.
These are on a silly amount. Again, you need to find a frame. We'll get some frames in again at some point.
I think are the ones we've got too small because we've got some small L-shaped frames.
But this is your...
Got it in blue and you've got it in.
You've got all the
Pink.
threads. You've also got in here, Jane, something
You've got
that
the
we can't...
templates.
Yeah, now these are templates you can't get anywhere else in this country. Lisa has these made specifically for her. They're English paper piecing templates, but they're plastic.
So they're reusable.
Yeah.
Because they fold and they've got the spaces in them for the tacking stitches.
Clever, huh?
Yeah. So you've got all of that and the embroidery thread.
And she was going to do us a demo, and then we ran out of time.
Yeah.
So of course, unless people see things demoed.
It's
But
difficult to see it, to understand, isn't it?
but you've got all the fabric that you need and the instructions for basically what you should pay for the instructions. Is what that is. So yeah, make the most of these when they are gone. They're gone. And Lisa's not reprinting most of these fabrics, which makes me so sad.
Not coming back, are they? Which is
Well, you think? Do you know what? This is actually testament to how good.
They'd been something like
12 years.
12 years, something like that.
And that's what I was going to say. Most fabrics will have one print run and you're one and done.
Yeah, they do one season, don't they? And that's it.
These
they're blenders and
have been around for 12 or so years. And I think we just always assume it. Well, Lisa always have them. No, Lisa will not always have them.
it's exciting to know what's coming next.
But you know that Lisa will create similar in terms of proportions and so that we can
sizing and
yeah.
everything,
So you know that whatever's going to come is going to be rather fabulous. Talking of rather fabulous, Jane, do you want me to pop it to one side?
Yeah. All right, left and right. Yeah.
Right. Show us your wares, Jane. What you got for us today?
This is the kit that's the samples made behind us. So this is our Sanderson.
I love these colours.
Look at this. This is the main print that I've used squares of in the middle.
Yes.
I showed it to Glenn and he said, wow, that's a stunner. He said, that's got quite an autumnal feel to it. I said, we'll use the word classic, Glenn. Timeless.
Timeless.
But it is. It's got oak leaves and berries. And
I've had Sanderson curtains in one room or another. Well, I had them in my bedroom as a teenager because they're just absolutely classic. I lived in a little wooden clapperboard cottage and I had these yellow and grey Sanderson curtains and it was absolutely picture perfect. And this, you know, again, would have looked so stunning in that environment with, you know, with those woods and the, you know, those natural elements, which Sanderson just managed to do.
I love
every
the combination of colours here with the reds and the greens, and then that sort of
dusky teal almost, isn't it?
Yeah, a lovely blue, and then the creams and tans in there. It's just a lovely fabric. That on its own would just make stunning cushions. And probably would look lovely with the waxed that we've got as well, because it's that sort of tone, isn't it? So you've got a fat quarter of that in the kit. You've got a long quarter of our plain. I'm going to say it's sage, but I might be wrong.
Go for it, Jane.
Then this is what started the design, was the stripe. Now you know I love a stripe, and you usually use it for binding.
Jane.
But I've done a little bit of clever cutting with this.
What colour would you call that? It's not a red, it's not a pink, it's like a mulberry almost, isn't it?
It's sort of cranberry colour, maybe.
It's the softest of pinky reds.
Yes.
And it's picked out in...
Oh, there's the one I thought I'd lost.
And it's picked out in the berries of the border fabric, which you've got there, which is just gorgeous too.
We've got our natural seeded, which is what I've called the background fabric. And then, as you say, this beautiful, it's like beech leaves almost, with the berries.
Which picks out that, which then picks out, it just
blends beautifully.
All works.
And that's the border fabric. So you've got 1/2 metre of your background, your border fabric. This is slightly bigger than a 1/2 metre. This is 60 centimetres, just a little bit more.
Look at it.
It's just gorgeous. You will have a little bit left over of that. Long quarter, fat quarter, and then a 1/2 metre of our claret for the binding. Now it doesn't matchy, but it's far enough away that it just highlights that red. And because it's the binding,
tone. It's a tone darker, and I like that as a contrast to it.
It sort of gives it a full stop, and I quite like sometimes a binding that gives it a full stop.
Show us that full stop, Jane. Let me just see if I can change that angle for us. Where have you put it, Jane?
We can see it. Yeah, you can see it's far enough away from that red, but blends in beautifully and just gives it a really nice crisp frame.
I love it.
I think.
I love it. I love it.
So that's our Sanderson kit.
A few little messages whilst you get the next ones out. Cynthia says greetings. Blodwin says good morning, Natasha and Jane from sunny Devon. I'm glad it's sunny somewhere. Auntie Lizzie's here.
It's trying hard here, isn't it?
Derbyshire Di says morning, cold but sunny here in Derbyshire. I feel like Michael, who was it that used to, you know, at GMTV when they had the floating UK, and he used to...
Is he called Fred or something like that? Fred the Weatherman.
I feel like I could do that.
That would be such a fun job to have.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'd have to improve my geography.
Well, yes.
Me and geography, not so great. But I feel like I do that when we do, like Derbyshire Di will always give us an update.
Yes.
Kirsty will often give us what's happening over in Wellington. We get little pockets
and we
of
also
the country.
get a bit of international with with our Australian viewers.
We get Australian, we also
Cynthia.
get, and in
Ohio,
Ohio, and we
yeah.
also get a bit of Cyprus as well.
Yeah,
Cypriot sun. Yes, Fred the weatherman, says Gemma.
yeah.
I don't have any Lisa Chandler, so I've just Googled to find out where I can find some. And Natasha Makes the first reference. Boom! Yes, because we have been pioneers.
I think we're the only people in this country that have
In this country, yes, Cynthia. In the States, you do have a supplier in the States.
Yeah.
I think she's in Utah. I might have just made that up.
You never
I'll ask
know.
Lisa. Di says, Cynthia, you must try some, Lisa. It's stunning. It's Leesa.
Chandler's Cottage as well is what it's
Yeah.
known by,
Yeah.
I think, is the designer name.
Cynthia says all of Natasha's recommended are wonderful. Well, thank you
Oh,
very much.
thanks, Cynthia.
Thanks. I used to worry about what I recommended, but I love what I recommend. So
Well, the thing is, you don't use anything unless you like it.
no, I
And people know this, so they know that if you like it, you've used it,
Yeah.
and you've used it a lot.
Yeah.
Because to say you get obsessed with things is a little bit, maybe, that's not very nice, is it, to say that? But it's not, I don't
would like
mean
to
it in
call
a
it
mean way.
focused.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I do.
Because we all get
Absolutely.
obsessed with things. When we find something we like,
So
we
I have
just
16
really
horses
dive
outside,
outside.
Jane. I resemble that remark.
We do get obsessed with things.
Yeah.
I get obsessed with things. It's just, I think
It's
when
how
you
it goes,
love
isn't it?
something, you just want to do it
You
all.
want everybody else
Yeah,
to love it too.
You do. And I
Yeah.
think it comes across for us, because we do love what we do, I think it comes across.
And we're quite eclectic in what we love, because
Yeah.
we've gone from absolute classic Sanderson to this, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Yes, Weatherman Fred did fall off the Weatherman
He did.
thing.
He
Island
went to
at
jump
some
over
point.
once. And I think also somebody jumped on the map and made him fall off the one time, because it used to be in the docks at Liverpool.
Was it up in Liverpool? Was
Yeah.
it?
And I think
Amazing.
somebody, like, not streaked, but, you know, jumped on the weather map to try and get to him and made them both fall off.
Wow. Wow.
There'll be an outtake somewhere, won't there?
Well, we need to go and search that. What just fell?
I don't know.
Something just clonked, didn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, is it the bag that fell forward?
Yeah.
Black and tan one.
I didn't fill it with anything, that one. That was the apron bag.
It's beautiful.
I learnt bag making predominantly through making Lisa's bags.
Yes.
It's
she
she's
said something,
been incredible.
didn't she? Something like there's only 4 types of bags. It's just a different.
Bag making book is amazing.
It's fabulous.
But, you know, buy it, but still buy my patterns too.
Yes.
Jane Sassaman, Jane.
Jane Sassaman. I love Jane Sassaman.
And this is it, right? If we didn't love what we did, we'd be like, oh yes.
The first time I discovered Jane Sassaman, I wasn't sort of familiar with her, and you had some beautiful.
Was it me? Was it my fault?
And it was big and bold, and reds and oranges, and really vibrant. And I did the Sassy Squares quilt.
Yes, you did, and it was gorgeous.
And it just lent itself so nicely because it was big squares of the pattern, just repeated, and it just.
I know that you are a creature of comfort, and that it's been really testing for you at times when I've dragged you away from a small ditzy print because and gone, put the motor down, Jane. Step away from the small print.
Yeah, get away from
Because-
those Kansas troubles, girl.
Yeah, because we can't see them on screen.
No, and this is something that I've learned over the time being here, that we need to have fabrics that show themselves well on screen. It's all right you loving them, but
Here's
if
the thing.
our customers can't see them, they
Yeah.
they can't appreciate them.
But how far away do you see a quilt?
Oh yeah, good 3 foot, isn't it?
So
What
if
can I
you
say?
can make it out of fabrics that you can see well on camera,
Yeah,
that translates into a quilt in terms of striking and bold.
yeah.
Um,
This
And
is a fun print.
this is
But if you're an arachnophobe, just
look away.
look away now.
But it's not a scary one.
No, he's quite a cute little spider, and he's not obvious until you really look at it.
My favourite time of the day. And I get up, I get up,
Mm.
and I will go and I will take a coffee outside and I'll sit in the garden with the dogs. And I know that I'm early because the duck's automatic door hasn't raised. It's on a timer for dawn.
Yeah.
And it's sunlight driven, so I know. But when the sun starts to come through, the iron gates in the yard,
Yeah.
and when the sun hits on those,
Yeah.
and sometimes it hits with like a pink hue or whatever, and you've got a little bit of dew on spider webs.
It's stunning, isn't it?
It
It's
is
most
one of
prettiest time. And I love it when
nature's gifts.
we get a hoarfrost and it highlights all the webs in the hedges and everything.
They're so busy, and then we
And
just
then the
march through
sun
them.
catches them.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful.
So I love this. I love this, and I love the ombre that goes through the thistles.
Yeah.
I had thistles in my wedding bouquets.
They're a nice flower, aren't they? A thistle?
Really beautiful, and really they were blue.
Robust,
They were
yeah,
blue
yeah.
ones. So I had blue, and I had ivory roses and blue
Yeah.
ornamental thistles.
I love, is it sea thistles? They're a slightly different one, but they're
Yes.
pretty.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so. We do love a thistle, not in my fields, but the
No.
horses eat them.
Oh,
They love a thistle.
Yeah. George, the horse that stays at my mum's, he doesn't like thistles.
Oh no, mine love a thistle. And then we've got emerald.
Emerald green, plain.
Look at this. I love this.
This is a different stripe, and we'll talk about how the stripes work when we come to do the demo. That is just fun.
And then we've got a contrast plain.
This is silver, I think. I can't remember now because Izzy and I were looking at background fabrics, and we were going to go dark, and we looked at black, and we looked at our midnight, and they didn't play well with the blue.
Okay.
So
we've gone for
a grey,
lovely.
which is something that we don't do very often, but I actually quite like grey with an orange.
Yesterday this sold out.
In the large, yeah, that's in the warm, beautiful.
So in the other colourway, and this was the large print of it. And I don't know why I'd got just one of these. Sometimes I think that it's not my order that's been sent.
No.
And
Well,
it was one
the
of
thing
those.
is, isn't it? You order it so far in advance.
Oh, I've forgotten.
Sometimes you don't feel inspired by, because quite often it's just printed on paper when we
Yeah.
order it. You don't quite get the inspiration, and then you get the fabric in, and you're like, oh, why didn't I order more of this?
Well, exactly. So this is the one that sold out yesterday. This is the smaller version in blues and greens and yellows. Love it.
This is stunning. This is
Love
the
it.
one that I've allocated for border,
I can't wait to see what you do with all of these.
and then our royal for the binding, which mirrors this blue here.
Jane, I'm going to go and get out your way, and you can show us how to do
Show
this.
it how it's done.
Gemma's messaged me, so I don't know what she wants. I'll find out.
We probably said something we shouldn't.
Oh,
We probably said we've got something that we haven't or something, because poor old Jem, she's like, what have you said now?
What have you promised? That's the thing that she always says to me. She said, yes, you opened your mouth, didn't you? And you promised.
I think Izzy, you said something yesterday, and Izzy was like, no, it's not like that.
Did I not?
I said, now you know how Jem feels.
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, dear.
It must be an absolute nightmare working for me. And I just
Well, you
congratulate
keep us
all.
on our toes. We have the saying in the warehouse, and you know this because we say it openly to your face. We say we've been tashed.
Yeah.
Because you're a bit of a whirlwind sometimes. When you've got an idea, you just come whoosh in, and we're left like, oh.
Reeling. And then I go away again, and I shut myself in here in the studio, and I make stuff,
Yeah.
and I squirrel away, and then I walk the dogs, and then I come back, and but I'll often come back when you lot. My quiet time is when you lot aren't here,
Yes.
and I wander.
But we're not
through
going,
and I
Tash,
just-
where's this? What's that? Who's that? Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Oh, Jane, did you see what I made this morning?
No. What have you made?
I made the elephants.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Do you want to just a quick show and
Let's
tell?
just show that, because you
If
filled
we
that
just-
with lovely knitting stuff, which
Well-
shows another way of using it.
Jane, I don't know why the elephants didn't sell out. I do not know why they did not sell out. So I was like, right, well then.
And
I'm
again,
just gonna-
it's gone with that beautiful
The green that went
the
with
green
everything.
went with everything.
That would go with the Lisa.
Yeah.
It would go with the Lisa.
It would
absolutely, I
lovely
know it
with
would.
Elisa.
If you spin it around, I've fussy cut the elephants very well on that. Look at that.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
No
just
messing.
myself. Mhm.
This is a beautiful fabric.
I love the elephants.
If you knit yourself, or if you've got a friend that knits, this is a lovely thing to make for them, isn't it?
Mm.
Just fill you with your knitting goods.
And you don't have to use the wax to line
No.
it if you want to do it as a knitting thing.
But even having the wax is a nice, because it's soft wax, isn't it? It's not a hard.
Really soft.
It's a nice lightweight one.
Do you know what I'm going to do for Easter?
Going to make little baskets for eggs.
Well, I might put like an Easter egg in and then fill it with daffodils and all those sorts of goodies, because you can put flowers in and it won't soggy it up if you use
Yeah,
the wax.
that's a nice idea.
So I just thought, maybe an egg one side and a plant or something the other side.
Lovely. Nice.
Anyway, Jane, you've got to make something.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the stripe, and this is a little bit of offcut that I've had left over from my kit. So this isn't the size of the square that I've actually used. The stripe, the borders on my block, and I haven't got a sample of the actual block to show you, is using quarter square triangles. And simply cut this into 4. Have you got your rotating cutting mat in here?
Down there.
Yes.
In front of you somewhere.
I see it. Now, if you've got a rotating cutting mat, this might be a good opportunity to use it. You can do it on an ordinary mat, but the cutting mat the rotating one makes life so much easier. So I'm sort of skipping ahead a little bit in the demo, but I want to demonstrate what happens with the stripe, because there's so many options. So cut the stripe into 4 quarter square triangles simply by cutting it through both diagonals. Now when you cut quarter square triangles, it's a good idea not to move the fabric when you're cutting it. So having the rotating cutting mat really is very safe and makes life a lot easier for you, just simply rotating your square. If you don't have one, you just have to position your body a different way. So you'll start on one side like this, and then you'll work your way around and start on the other side. Just, I'm all for keeping yourself safe. My mantra is you open your rotary cutter, you cut, and then you close it. And when I was teaching, and when I still teach now, one of the first things I say to my students is, you will hear me say to you, close your rotary cutter, close your rotary cutter, get it into your head. And quite a few of my students say when they're at home that they can hear my voice saying open, cut, close with the cutting.
Yeah.
Keeping yourself safe. And always cut away from yourself. And another safety feature is always to have a nice fresh blade in your cutter, because if your blade's dull and you're having to add extra pressure to cut, that's when you can go off and catch your fingers and all sorts of things. And also when you're using your ruler, nice firm pressure, but keep your fingers away from the very edge. Don't have your fingers here, because that's when you could cut yourself. Just space your hand a little bit away. With the creative grids, there's enough grip on there for them not to move anyway, so that's good. So you'll have 4 quarter square triangles, and we only use 2 of them. Now for mine, I use the stripes that faced horizontally and then sewed them back together to create that right angle effect. And that's what I did with the stripe on these. Now you'll see when we come to do the Jane Sassimon version that the stripe gives a different effect, which is rather fabulous. And Izzy and I had fun deciding which way triangles we were going to use. Because if you use the other 2 triangles, the stripe faces in, giving a chevron. And again, that's a really nice effect. But I wanted mine to look like the square was framed, like it was like a frame behind.
Beautiful.
So I opted to have the right angle rather than the V shape.
Stripes are so good.
It's such a versatile fabric, and it just gives you so many design options. Now, if you don't like the fact that you've got the different colour, when you cut all your squares, you can move them around, because you'll have 2 of each one within the pattern, so you can have a play with the fabric placement.
Nikki loves the bright colourway.
Yes.
And Chris has fabulous fabrics.
They're all gorgeous. There's I can't think of the word. There's a case for having both sets, because you'll have a room where you want that classic country kitchen feel, and then there'll be another one, maybe in a child's bedroom,
Do you know
where
what I was
that big,
just gonna
bold,
say
bright, lovely, zingy colours.
Freddie would love that, and
He
the fact
would.
it's got a spider in it, he
Yeah.
would just adore even more. Although I have just got him a poster for his bedroom that says, "Surely not everyone was kung fu fighting," which makes me laugh every time.
Does he get the reference?
Yeah. Oh, Fred loves his music.
Yeah.
Absolutely loves his music. Hence the I'm really sorry about the electric guitar this morning.
I know it's quite because he's playing it. He's not
he's
wow,
learned-
wow,
yeah,
wow, wow.
yeah.
We could hear notes coming out.
So the deal
Maybe
was,
not in the right order, but they were there.
he's only had it a day.
Yeah.
So he's got his YouTube videos to follow along to learn how to play this guitar. And the understanding is if he sticks to that until the end of term, then I will pay for lessons.
Yeah.
That's
Before
the deal.
you know it, you'll be having the McCartney. I don't know what Josh's surname is. What's Josh's surname?
Parkins.
The McCartney Parkins band.
Yes.
Because
Well, they will be there.
there'll be something that Emily can play.
I mean, yes. Yes. Right now she'd like to be vocals
Yes.
because the amp that I got Freddie has got 2 jack inputs. So she
Oh,
said,
so
can my
could you
microphone
sing?
go in the other? I'm like, oh my God.
Should be singing
I
along.
did not think this one through. I will be the other end of the house if anybody needs me.
Bless.
Oh, hang on a minute, Jane. What's going on here?
So that's the block with the satin one. And you can see that I
love it.
have turned the stripe. Now then, let's have a look if I've got the...
Oh, how much fun is that, Jane? Come on.
That is the stripe running vertically, and this is what happens if you have it running horizontally. So again, you can choose how you want to have it.
I don't know.
Well, this is it. You get...
Do you know
Because
what else?
what you could do, because you've got 3 blocks, you could do 2 one way and 1 the other.
The kids' new favourite movie, Emily's lost the remote, so we can't watch anything other than DVDs. Like, what's a DVD, Mummy? It's like, all right, let me take you back 10 years.
Yeah.
How does this work? You put it in here. So Charlotte's Web
Yeah.
has been an absolute firm favourite. I can't watch it because it makes me cry, because I'm ridiculous.
No, but yeah, I'd be the same.
Yeah. But this is what this reminds me of.
Yes. So you can see how bold and fun this block is. And you make 3 blocks like this. Now this is a very classic square within a square block. There's nothing complex about it. So let's, we'll run through how that works. And I've got a little bit about the things that you can do with your leftover.
Oh, good, I like that.
Your leftover
Jane,
triangles.
Sue has found a partner in crime. She says, my favourite postman now delivers my fabric parcels when he knows Dave is out. Or he hides it in the back and then delivers the rest of the post to the front. That is brilliant.
That's the kind of guy you need.
Absolutely brilliant.
So I've fussy cut my centre square because you can. You've got enough fabric, you only need 3 middle squares. If you're going to do the runner, you might decide you want to do more. You may have to buy a bit more of the other fabrics, but you'll find it's quite generous for the fat quarter for that.
Oh, Ginny says, my little grandson is sitting on my knee absorbing your demo. He'll be 2 next week.
Oh, we'll be making quilts before we know it.
Hello to Ginny's grandson.
Can we have a name?
Yeah, we'll say a little shout out there.
So the plain fabric, half square triangles for this. There's a reason for half square triangles and quarter square triangles, and it's all to do with the straight of grain. So when these are added on, we add it on the long bit, which is actually the bias when we sew it to the square, but that means that we've got the straighter grain on the outside. So when the next one goes on, you're not working with 2 biases, which will stretch and distort.
And if that was a lot of words, just follow Jane's instructions. She sorted it out for you,
Yeah,
so you don't have to be scared. Because Chris is saying that she is scared. There is no reason to be scared. If the
Chris
worst
and
case
I have
happens,
had a discussion about triangles the other day, and
Okay.
she mustn't be scared of them.
well, there's no point.
No, they're
be
not
scared
frightening, but
of rattlesnakes. and
Chris
things
is
like
a
that.
precision. She's a precise patchworker.
Oh,
So
I'm really sorry about that.
if it just goes a little bit off, it upsets her. And we talked about it. I think I've persuaded her that triangles can be your friend.
They can be your friend. And not only that, you can trim them back
Yes.
if needs be.
Well, we talked about that as well.
Prep your fabric.
Yeah, I use starch best press, pre-treat my fabric. Now you'll just see me folding this square in half and pinch creasing it on the middle of the fold, and the same the other way. So I've got the middle on each side of that square with a little crease, little pinch crease in there, so it just sort of forms a little peak. Now that was wrong sides together. if this was a print, I would be doing this right sides together with my triangle. And again, just very carefully, because we're now on a biased edge, just pinch pleat that. So now I've got a little crease, little peak on my half square triangle, and right sides together now. So those two creases line up. This helps me make sure that I have my triangle in the middle, the edge of my triangle in the middle of the edge of my square, so that I get it central. You've got your overhang there, that's your seam allowance. So don't think, oh God, I cut the triangles wrong.
Jane, is this a beginner make?
Yes. I can't see why somebody couldn't do this, but hadn't done it for the first time.
Right, yeah, Jane, the other thing is our retreat.
Yes.
Because that is now only a couple of weeks away.
Yes.
And it is not too late, you can still join in.
Yeah.
Come join us, it's in Staffordshire. In a lovely, well, we're led to believe it's in a lovely place. We haven't been yet.
It looks nice on the
It's really
pictures.
What are you making? Because we've got 2 workshops, so a morning one and an afternoon. You're there for both. You don't have to pay for anything extra. We are going to bring all the fabrics for you.
I've got a little Easter make. Make it into a cushion.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because I think, you know, we'll be making it on the day, so you've got it, you'll have it.
Yeah, so it's not one of those
It'll be
things
ready.
that sits as an unfinished thing.
Yeah, it'll be ready for Easter.
I haven't decided what to do yet, Jane. What should we do? What should we do? What should we do?
I
What
think
do
you should do one of your bag makes, I think. Because
make a
again,
bag?
that's a sort of instant project, isn't it? You'll be able to finish in sort of
So it might
half
be
a
wax,
day.
it might be cork, it might be whatever, but
one of your lovely technical fabrics, yeah.
And again, the price of all these fabrics are all in. It's all in, and you get me and Jane for the day. Sorry.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Oh, hang on.
Got my back of my head there. Sorry about that.
No, it's my fault, Jane. There you go.
So I've sewn opposite side triangles on to the square. I'm just going to press those away. Now I tend to just fold my fabric back against the seam, and then when I iron, I'm literally pressing that down. I don't want to be doing that with my iron on a half square triangle because of that biased edge. So it's just a case of pushing it back, just finger pressing it without stretching it, and then just using the heat just to set it if you like.
Oh, there you go. Chris has put in a request for wax rather than cork, please.
That's good, yeah.
Part of me is waiting until the week before to see what new fabrics we have in.
Yes,
So
because
if I
there'll
can
be
bring you
something
something
fabulous
new and fabulous.
and exclusive.
I mean, all of our stuff is fabulous, to be fair.
Yes, but if you have it and nobody's seen it yet, then the people on the retreat will get an exclusivity, won't they? So we're going to do the same, the pinch, fold and pinch effect, and we're going to sew to the other side. Square within a square. Some people call them economy squares, but I think when you do an economy square, you do it with a square over the top and sew it down.
Nikki's joining us.
Hello, Nikki.
Thank you very much. It's not, I guess from Stowe it's not too far, is it?
No,
Really?
no. Where's it? Armitage that way, which is sort of Tamworth way.
Yeah.
So I think it's equidistant for you and I, so
Yeah.
it's nice.
I'm going to Stafford twice that week, Jane.
Where are you going the other time?
Sorry?
Where are you going the other time?
Funeral. Another funeral.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So one of those months.
So
But-
again, just press that up and away.
Very, very beautiful part of the world.
It's Staffordshire is quite an eclectic mix because you have the industrial side of the potteries
Yeah,
and all of
course.
that,
Absolutely.
and then it's quite agricultural.
Well, this is Leek.
Yeah, which is
around
beautiful Peak
And
District.
Macclesfield and all around there.
Yeah,
so
you've got beautiful walks and things around there.
my brother got married on this particular friend's farm, so it's it's an
nice.
old family friend. So very beautiful.
So we're now going to cut the squares into quarter square triangles. This is our stripe fabric. Just make sure that you have just make sure that the stripe is all going the same way. It doesn't really matter, but you get different effects. And we're going to cut that, as I said before, let's use the rotating cutting mat because it does make life easier. I've got 2 squares on top of each other because as I've cut them from the strip of fabric, I've just kept the strip of fabric folded in half. The 2 squares are kept together. It moves slightly in transit, but it's just less cutting, which, you know, means you can get on with the sewing. Which is quite nice. If you've got a 45-degree angle on your ruler, you can always line it up with one of the straight edges just to make sure you're in the right place. Oops.
Oh, Jane Mickey's daughter's coming as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, I like this. It's like mother-daughter.
Yeah, Mum and I quite often go on
Do you?
courses together. Yeah, it's nice.
My mum doesn't sew, so that wouldn't be a thing. Maybe I could do like gin making or something with my mum.
She'd love that.
Gemma took me. Do you remember, for my birthday?
Yes, that was nice.
And we went and we had birthday gin. It was amazing.
So, for each of your blocks, you are going to need 4 squares because you take 2 squares from each square. So you're going to have 8 squares from each one left over. Which is quite a lot of fabric left over, but I've got a few ideas of what you can do with your leftover bits.
Now, you see, Chris, if you'd been on the Natasha Makes Designs workshop that we did the other day, we made the waterproof wash bag and we made the wax tote. Because Josh had sent out the wrong thing that we're making. And so half people have prepped one and half have prepped the other, so we just made both. So we've done that in one of the workshops, so we'll have to do something different for anybody where there's ever any overlap.
So I am going to use for mine.
Gemma's just messaged, she said, yes, we also got totally trolleyed and you bought half the shop. I'd like to say I did my Christmas shopping.
Yes.
That's all I did, Gemma. I was organised and I did my Christmas shopping. There's nothing wrong in that. We got a discount.
I'm going to use my triangles with the stripe facing in because I do look that effect. But you might want to use your triangles with the stripe facing out because you get that wobbly effect, which again gives you a beautiful finish.
Do you know what, Jane? We should give anyone that comes on our workshop, we should give them a little discount code, shouldn't we?
Yeah, that's a nice idea.
Just for like putting up with us for the day.
Now, you can see on this 2 there that those don't marry up, but on the other 2, if I take that one,
oh nice,
that follows through, and that one follows through. So just have a look at your triangles and get them so that the colours match. You don't have to. You might like it when they don't quite match. It's quite good fun. But these are biased edges, these are your quarter squares, and it's your straight edges then. So you're actually making it into a half square triangle in effect. You're just putting those 2 short edges together and you're going to sew those down. You may find that one triangle is slightly bigger than the other, but it's less than 1/8 of an inch. And I don't know why it happens. It might be just that I was a bit whizzy with cutting or whatever, and the fabric moves slightly.
Whizzy with cutting, Jane.
But it's not enough to worry me because it will all disappear into the seam allowance. And we can chain piece these triangles together, which again gives you a nice quick way of doing stuff. Oops. Yes, it could be lethal, couldn't it, really, going with a friend to gin tasting?
Well, I did.
Yeah.
And it was.
You might slightly better behaved with your mother. A little bit more restrained.
I don't.
Whereas when you're with a friend, you egg each other on, don't you?
Yeah. Do I behave around my mother? No, I'm the bane of her life.
It's our job though, isn't it, as daughters?
I know that she does laugh at Emily and go, ah, you've got everything you deserve. Which I feel is mean if accurate.
Yes.
Emily yesterday managed to make a complete drama out of absolutely nothing. I'm like, how is this even a thing? How? She honestly, she is the original Stommer teacup.
Oh, bless her. So I'm just pressing these triangles, and again, just carefully using my fingers to push the seam away, the fabric away, so it's right up against the seam, and then just pressing it down with my iron. Press the iron on the liner stitch just to sort of set the seam, as it were. And then just press that down.
These runner kits, by the way, under 30 quid.
Oh, that's amazing. So, you know, and it's a good size runner. It's something like, I think it's 25 by 61 or something.
It goes beautifully along the back of the 3-seater sofa, just saying.
Yeah.
Which is where it will be going later.
But it could go on the end of a bed, couldn't it? And what have you.
As a cat cosy,
Yeah.
as I like to call them.
Bed scarves, as they're
Yes.
called as well, runners. Now, you've got your seam here. And you've got your point here of your square. Now what you can do is you can just line that seam up with the point of your square.
And if I change the camera angle, Jane, people can see what you actually do.
So I can feel under there, I can feel where the seams are to create that point. And if I just move that up slightly, you really want to aim for your seam to be in that point of the where those squares meet. And it just sits nicely. You might find that it might need to be adjusted slightly because you've got a little bit more on one side than the other. But I think it works really nicely. And we do the same thing, we're just sewing the triangles to the opposite sides of the square that we've created. So sew one onto one side. Seam away, and we'll sew the other one onto the other side.
Oh, this is going to be so fun.
It's just really zingy, isn't it?
Yes.
It's quite often when I'm doing classes and I'm teaching people, they'll bring their own fabric to the class, and of course everybody's choice of fabrics is different, but it's lovely to see the same pattern in different fabrics and how different they look.
Yes.
Just by different colour choices and different pattern. So those two pressed away from there, and then we'll do the same on the other side. So again, we're just lining that seam up where that I can feel the square. I can feel it underneath. Just making sure I've got 1/4 inch either side really, because that should be in the middle. I don't think, because of the stripiness of the pattern, if it's a little bit off and not lined up with the seam, I don't think it's obvious.
No.
But
so
we know who we are and we know what we like. So
Chris.
some people it has to be exact, and that's fine because we're all different.
But Gemma's the same, isn't she?
Yeah,
And
she's
she's
a
stopped
perfectionist.
herself from doing so many things because she wants it to be absolutely perfect. And I think that's, but also Gemma did nail art.
Yeah,
People
so
for
she's
many
used to
years.
seeing things in such a minute detail.
Absolutely.
I think the first time she came to me and said, "Look, it doesn't match," and I was like, "What? It's like two threads. Two threads, Gemma. You can't see it."
But on a nail,
Yeah,
that
it would be massive.
disaster.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, we have to.
Manage expectations.
Yeah, and we all know what we like as well. Some people can live with a slightly wonky seam or a mismatched whatever, and other people it doesn't. It jars, and that's fine. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. And that, as they say, is your block. And you can see that comes together pretty quickly.
Oh, look at
Square
that.
within a square.
I love it.
So the background, putting the background on, and there is a method of doing this.
If you put the back, could you make it just into a cushion, Jane?
Yeah, you could just add a border to that and make it into cushions that go with your runner. You could put make 4 squares and have it as a table centre with the 4 squares and maybe a little bit of your background in between.
I love it.
There's lots of options. So
we did look at doing a Liberty, just a blue and white version, didn't we?
We did. There were so many options. We got 4, hadn't we, in the end?
Yeah. And I had to rein us back in and go, there's no point.
Because I was like, can we have all these kits? And she was like, no, because you'd have to demo in all of them.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? Unless we demo it, unless you can see it.
Well, no, this is it. You need the visual, because our medium is a visual medium. And if you can't envisage it, and not everybody can, what have you decided now?
Well, no, I was just thinking about, you know how we've got the Lisa Chandler, if somebody manages to get like what's it called? The tile one. Fussy cutting, some of those Waratahs and
yes,
you could amazing.
Yeah, you could have really good
and
fun.
then you could get some of the
yeah, you could have really good fun with
there's
that.
that Hampton stripe, isn't there?
Yeah.
Would that be in
It's 60 centimetres for the stripy bit.
I don't know how much we've got left of the Hampton stripe. Well, you could get that bag kit, because that had 60 centimetres of the panel.
Yes.
And 60 centimetres of the Hampton stripe.
Yeah.
You could fussy cut the panel.
Yes.
So you could have something beautiful in the centre of each of your squares.
Absolutely.
And then you could get the tile print and do a border in that. There you go, I've just done another design for you all.
So
and this is how it works.
We've got a big square that we're going to cut into 1/4 square triangles. All measurements obviously are in the pattern. Now you can see here the rotating cutting mat is too small for a big square like this, and my ruler actually isn't long enough, amazingly. So what you do is you line it up, and you'll just start in that corner and you'll slide your ruler to make sure it does fit into the next corner, and slide it back, because you always need a bit of ruler on your mat so that you can start cutting on the mat before you start on your fabric. If you start cutting on your fabric, you'll find that you miss that first little bit with your rotary cutter. So you go towards the middle, you stop, keep your rotary cutter where it is, and then you slide your ruler back up and you carry on cutting.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
So we've got 4 1/4 square triangles. Oops.
Oh, there is more chat. Morning, says Jules. Had to give up on Facebook again. So glad there's an alternative. We always have done YouTube, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you're going to need 2 slightly smaller squares, and we're going to cut those into 1/2 square triangles. So that's just 1 across 1 diagonal.
Jenny, Auntie Lizzie would love the tile print as wallpaper. She'd like it in grey, please. We could just make that happen.
That's something that Lisa could, venture
Could do,
into.
yeah.
Interior design, fabrics,
Yeah.
wallpapers and
Yeah.
upholstery weight fabric.
Auntie Lizzie also suggests Captain Small on drums. Yeah, we've had that conversation. As well as piano.
Yeah.
Again, she does love to play the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to, on one of them, we're going to attach the 1/2 square triangles onto adjacent sides, like so.
Oh, that really doesn't add to pop, doesn't it, that grey?
Yeah.
Grey and orange, though, it's a winning combo, isn't it, every time?
I
Grey
think
and
so.
purple, lovely.
I think so. And again, I've just done the fold and press, and I can line that fold up then with that point there. And with this size triangle, you may just want to put a few pins in, just to hold it in place while you take it to your machine. Just because it likes to move itself around.
Perfect. Oh, Jules said my 2 did strings. Oof. Daughter moved through the recorder, violin, keyboard, clarinet, and finally, and excellently, saxophone. I tried the saxophone.
I've always wanted to play the
I've
saxophone.
always wanted to.
I like to play the drums as well.
having sung in a Pink Floyd tribute band for many years when I was younger, yeah, I wanted to play the saxophone just for that sax solo.
Yeah.
That was it. And I was rubbish. I thought because I could play the recorder, Oh When the Saints, quite well, I felt that instantly meant that I could therefore play the saxophone perfectly. Oh, Auntie Lisa wants to know, is everyone going to be sewing with a hammer on the retreat? Possibly.
Yes, Natasha's bag making, there's bound to be hammer sewing in there.
Well, do you
There'll
know,
be
is the one
hammer
thing.
time.
Yes.
Bless you.
Oh,
So press that away, and then we'll do the same. And these go.
excuse me.
It is adjacent, isn't it, when it's next to each other?
Yes.
Next to each other.
Mm-hmm. Juxtaposition when it's a word.
Yeah. So, again, just finger pressed it. That line is in that where those two seams come together.
I can't stop singing Everybody Was Kung Fu Fighting down my head. I mentioned Freddie's poster earlier. It's still in my head.
I saw that on a T-shirt. Surely not everybody could have been.
Surely not everybody was Kung Fu Fighting.
I got Glenn at Christmas. I got him a T-shirt, and it said, "I might be old, but I've seen all the best bands." Because he has. He saw Queen. He saw AC/DC.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's seen Rainbow, Led Zeppelin.
Oh, what was his music this morning? What was his music choice?
Oh, this morning I had Material Girl.
Oh.
Yesterday it was I Don't Like Mondays.
Mind you, Jane, you came this morning and went, hate coming to work. I was like, oh, it's funny, Jane.
Yeah, the wrong thing to say, because I don't hate coming to work. I hate
Just
driving to work.
Izzy and I just looked at each other and went, okay.
Izzy has a similar driving experience to me when she comes to work, bless her. We just like, was there traffic for you this morning? These drivers that drive us mad. Yeah, and then we press that one away as well. So with our quarter square triangle, we're going to have two like this. With our quarter square triangle, we are going to place it, if we're looking at our square on point, with our two triangles creating that square top, we're going to place it on the right hand side. Now we can do the press to find the middle of the side of this, and it's just remember you've got your 1/4 inch overhang, so just bring that side up there. But you're going to line up the edges, so that right angle there sits on the edge of that block. So you don't really have to do the press side, because you know that you're just creating the side sits on the edge of the square. So when you put it like this, you're just lining up those edges there and there, and we're going to sew up that side. Now you can see I've got a little bit of a mismatch of seams there. I'm going to go with the shortest one. So I'll just line that up with that side there, and I'll have that little bit of overhang, but I will follow the edge of my fabric, which will straighten that back up. Because even with the best pre-treatment of your fabrics, it still sort of moves a little bit sometimes.
It can happen.
It can.
And just, it's fine.
Be kind to yourself. There's always a way around it. And nobody but you knows it's there.
I've just been asked, will yesterday's pattern be available as a download? It will be, but guys, you know the drill. If it's got a template, then it takes extra time for us to get it as a digital download, because we have to double check, triple check. It's 3 pages of templates for these because they're tall.
Yes.
So please do bear with while we triple check that for you, because the last thing we want. And always print them on actual size.
So we've got that one there, and we're just going to press that away. Give that a press, and again just pressing it down, not ironing it. It might look like I am from above, but I'm actually only pressing the triangles. I might be moving my iron, but I'm not actually in contact with the fabric. So there we go. Now, if that's a little bit of distortion there, you can always run your ruler down and straighten that up. As long as you give yourself your 1/4 of an inch there before you straighten that. You're going to make 2 like that. I'll just get the other one. I've put the... So I'll just add the 1/4 square triangle onto that. Oh, hi Malcolm.
He's really cross at the moment.
He's very cross with us.
He's really cross. He must be, because he knows he's not allowed in here.
He's starving, isn't he? You know, I mean, obviously he's not been fed for at least 2 hours, so poor cat's
not
wait.
give him his hobbit second breakfast?
No, he's hi babes. He's you know, he's wasting away in front of our very eyes.
I mean, would we say that?
Beautiful lush cat that he is.
We call Malcolm, he's the ginger one. We call him the lesser spotted Malcolm because generally you don't see him. He hates people.
He's not very keen on being fussed, is he?
Although he did sit on the banisters and look fabulous. Yeah.
Oh, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
I showed my mum that picture. I said, just look at him. He's just so gorgeous.
He's such a munch.
So these are done exactly the same way, and you might be thinking, well, why? But we're going to turn one around and it all becomes clear. Oh, hi.
There he is. Malcolm.
Are you hungry? Are you starving? He said, I just come to look gorgeous on this fabric. Because look at me, my gingerness is perfect.
This is Malcolm, everybody.
Hi.
He's not allowed in here.
No.
Or in the warehouse. And yet. He appears to have found a way in.
Hi.
It's normally only half term they
Not
find
that
their way
view,
in.
really.
It's not that view.
Not appropriate. Come on. Come on, you beautiful boy.
He's like, don't touch me, don't touch me, don't touch me.
Get off me.
You can't touch me.
Just the look he's just given me then as I shut the door and it was
It
like,
was absolute daggers.
how dare you?
And not feed him.
How dare you?
Shut the door.
He thought I was going to go and take him to his food and feed him. Can usually get round Izzy and I. It's like, I've not been fed, feed me. And we're like, go on then, we'll feed you. And Natasha will put up, just fed him. So you've got 2 pieces like this, with your 2 half square triangles on your, and your 1/4 square triangle. Can we go overhead?
Yeah, I was just laughing to myself because I used to have their cat food on a subscription, so I knew when it was going to arrive. But he gets overfed so much by everybody else, I've run out too soon. So I just now just buy it whenever I need it, rather than having it on a subscription. I thought I was being so organised.
Yes. And then we came along.
And when he was in Cornwall, it worked because he didn't get overfed. Morty, however, started breaking into next door's house. and eating all their cat food instead.
Bless him. Bless him.
As you can see, he's not wasting away. He's
No.
not withering away.
He won't waste away.
No.
So now we're going to place these 2 1/4 square triangles on the 3rd block. We place them so that they're on opposite sides and the straight side runs parallel. I don't know what the terminology is. I want to say perpendicular, but I'm not sure that's the right one. Gemma will tell me if that is the correct term.
Gemma knows.
Gemma knows these things. She's our lexicon.
Oh, that's a good word that's underused, Janie.
Just placing a few pins in there just to hold it in place. So I take it to the machine just so that it doesn't move itself around. I just run a line of stitch down here. It's definitely a weekend project, and it probably wouldn't take you all weekend. You could start on a Saturday and you'd probably have it ready for Sunday lunch. To put on your table.
Is that
to not let anybody put their food anywhere near.
Oh,
Don't put the gravy boat on it. And then we're going to put the other one on this side.
Gemma said, sorry, I was doing other stuff. What will Gemma know?
Whether it's perpendicular or whether that's not the right terminology for having the seams.
Perpendiculars at right angles.
Yeah, so it's not perpendicular then, is it? Just parallel. Just parallel, but one faces one way and one faces the other.
She was not looking at hanging off your every word, which...
Very tempting. I mean, she was actually doing some work and not watching us.
Not just hanging out.
She has to keep her eye on all the sites, doesn't she, to make sure nobody's misbehaving.
Oh yeah, then no one's sparring word of this.
Yeah. It's a full-time job for her and SJ when the shows are on.
But that's just it, you know, let alone us can try and keep us in line and keep us behaving, but...
And then we'll press that up and away. So, when we come to put it together, we have that one faced like that. These are both facing the same way. One goes that way, and then this one is turned around and goes that way.
Oh wow!
So when you come to join them, you're just making sure you've got a triangle against your block when you come to sew it, and that's how you get it on point.
Amazing.
You'll sew those together, and you'll sew your strips. Did I do that? I did side, I did the ends, measured that, cut it to the end, and then 45-degree line, join the opposite, join these two strips. You've got 3 strips left over, I think, 2 strips left over. 3 strips, joined them together with a 45-degree angle, then measured that through the middle from top to bottom with the both borders on. And you've got rather fabulous
Oh, look at that.
border on there.
Jane, the word that you needed was anti-parallel, which describes parallel lines or vectors that are orientated in the opposite direction according to that egg.
So there we go, that's how that's going to
Oh, look at that.
come together. Isn't that fabulous?
Yes, and yes.
Such a contrast to the Sanderson, which is classic and calm.
Well, hold this in your eye for a second, and now compare and contrast. Ooh. You see, I think this would also be lovely with cave.
Yes. If you've got a nice print that you feel that you want to fussy cut that big bold print for the middle bit,
Yes.
and then a stripe that goes with,
Yes.
just lends itself beautifully.
Yes.
Because sometimes we worry about what we're going to do with the stripy fabric.
But there's so much fun.
There's so much fun to do, and you can get different effects.
Look at that.
So, talking about your leftover bits, just quickly
Got
now.
leftover bits.
Because I had quite a lot of triangles left over
Did you?
from, well, as I say, you cut 12 of your stripy fabrics, you cut 12 squares, but you're only actually using 2 in each square
Yeah.
of your, so you have that many, my brain won't work, of your quarter square triangle left over. Now, because I use my horizontal stripes, I've got all of these vertical stripe pieces left over.
Let me just change that over. Okay.
So I had all of those left over. You could just simply sew them back together to create that sort of shape. And if you sewed those together, you then create this secondary square shape in the middle. That's quite good fun, isn't it?
Yes.
You could add half square triangles of a plain fabric. That's just 4. So I put a plain fabric to create a square. Now, I did half square triangles, but you will have a biased edge on this side, so just take care when joining them together.
It's not impossible.
No.
Is it? It's just approach with caution.
That's sort of like a square, a different type of, it's called an hourglass block because that resembles sort of like an hourglass shape. You've got that effect. You could use half square triangles and you can create a pinwheel effect. So just by putting them around the other way, where all the points are meeting in the middle, you would get a pinwheel effect. If you can visualise that.
Yes.
Just turn those around that way.
I mean, I don't know. Everyone's just discussing Glenn's taste in music. He has excellent taste in music.
He does have excellent taste in music. Yeah, he does love his music. And then this one, I just put a little bit of a border in between, just to break them up.
Oh, nice! That's
I fussy
nice
cut
style.
a little square on point for there, just to carry on that stripe effect. But you don't need to do that. But you know, you can make lots of blocks like that. You could make blocks like that, and have it this way, so that when you put them together, you get another effect in the middle there. So those triangles, and I haven't used all of my quarter square triangles. I've still got quite a few left over. You can make cushion fronts that go with your runner. You could make another runner in a different style. So they don't go to waste. They're not, because they're big. They're big triangles. So you know, you won't want to just chuck those in your scrap.
Well, that'd be
box.
nice to have some cushions or something made out of. Yeah.
So you know, there's lots of potential to just have a play with them.
And
to see what happens.
For less than 30 quid.
Yeah.
Is just incredible for these kits. Both of them, you know, it's
lovely.
pretty impressive.
So there you go.
Oh, thank you, Jane. Lots
You're
of you
very
making the
welcome.
most of the Lisa Chandler offer. When it is gone, it is gone. I cannot be any clearer than that, really, can I?
No.
Lisa isn't printing anymore. As much as I keep trying to make her.
Yeah, we keep trying, don't we? We're like, sure, you know,
Come on, Lisa. Print some or print some new stuff.
Make us some more. Yeah.
So yeah, that is.
What are you doing tomorrow? Do you know yet?
Oh, that's a really good question, Jane. I would love to tell you.
It's a secret.
For me too. I've got a few. Do you know what it is?
You've got a head full of ideas and you don't know which one to do.
pick.
Yeah, this is what happens,
that.
isn't it? Yeah.
It's that, and I'm like, oh, what do I do? But I'm going to use some sort of hardware somewhere along the line, because I've got a few interesting bits in. So I need to just have a minute. I was meant to do this over the weekend, but I didn't feel very well, so I didn't. I went to bed instead.
That's fair enough. Your health is most important.
Yeah. So.
Because I don't want to have to do all the shows.
No.
That'd be quite scary.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know how you manage to come up with 2 show ideas a week when I only have to come up with 1, and that's hard enough. And quite often you help me with that as well. So
there was a time when I was doing Creative Craft where often I'd be doing 7 show plans every week.
It's crazy.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Madness.
So yeah. Gemma would also like to know what I'm doing. No, no. Oh, do you want to try one with Kaif?
Yes.
Yeah.
It would look lovely with Kaif.
Angela says it's splendid, Jane. I love things on point.
Yes.
It just
It just adds another dimension to your block.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to go and put that on the back of the sofa. Oh, Gemma's typing again. Hang on. We're going to get another chime. I've got to unscrew my phone out of its...
There we go.
Oh, should both beautiful, says Julia. I've got to try and unscrew my phone out of its case to turn the sound off.
Oh.
Screwed it in because I keep dropping it everywhere, breaking it. So it's in some sort of military grade case. Honestly, ridiculous. But, okay. Jane, this is gorgeous. Tomorrow, so it's going to be Little Makes tomorrow.
Yes.
Whatever it is, it's little.
But fabulous, I expect. Absolutely gorgeous.
Otherwise we'll all be disappointed. Yeah, so we'll do that.
Lovely.
Right, everybody, take care. Have a lovely rest of your day. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, Jane. Stunning.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.